Good day, everyone. My name is Abigail Palosimbre, and today we will talk about the social justice perspective of women in educational leadership. All over the world, social justice represents a major theme within areas of leadership policy, research, and literature, particularly into the experiences and perceptions of women in educational leadership. However, despite the advancements of our time, women are still underrepresented in school leadership. This underrepresentation of women in school leadership manifests a key issue in unlocking leadership and management potential, as well as establishing equality among men. Women continue to prove their worth as they continue to handle school leadership positions, and their success in doing this cannot be denied. Despite the legitimacy of gender equality, discourse on official government and formations of bureaucracies reproduce hierarchical structures that propel male leaders into higher positions and exclude women from educational leadership opportunities, hence, social injustice. To address this key issue, the United Nations had included Sustainable Development Goal number 5 to achieve gender equality and empower women and girls. What is social justice? As Miller and PragerU described, it is problematic. It is whatever you advocate on. It is highly dependent on the context in which it is used. This is why social justice has diverse, complex, and dynamic meanings. To simplify, social justice is the view that everyone deserves equal economic, political, and social rights and opportunities. People understand social justice differently. Hence, defining it is problematic, but its current use include the terms equity, equality, and equal opportunity, affirmative action, and diversity, each taking on different meanings dependent on national contexts. Our concept of social justice is one that identifies issues of power and inequity in schools and society, and that challenges personal and systemic abuses of power as well as alienating and marginalizing beliefs, values, and practices. Within the field of educational leadership and management, issues on marginalization is only recent. Mullen considers democracy and accountability, power and authority, equity and opportunity as critical issues of social justice in educational leadership. Since leaders recognize that inequalities exist within the system, they focus their energies to ensure equity for all students. According to Dr. Shields, educational leadership and social justice are inextricably interconnected as education seeking pedagogy and leadership, and that educational leadership and other are reciprocal. Since social justice represents a fundamental commitment to issues of equality, women are underrepresented in senior leadership, but discussions about it is not common as it is not considered an essential component and classification of leadership theory in education. Despite a much higher proportion of female teachers than males, women still experience barriers into leadership, according to Coleman. Despite a much higher proportion, they are a minority in schools. Women leaders continue to topple the different pressures on how to maintain work life balance. They, con- they continue and constantly negotiate their coexisting roles as professionals and mothers. However, Grogan and Shake Shaft incorporated a significant number of studies related to ways in which women lead to highlight the five key ways to show their contextual approach to leadership, namely relational leadership, leadership for social justice, leadership for learning, spiritual leadership, and balanced leadership. Over the last decade, researchers found that women tend to focus more on relationships and participation, sharing power and responsibility, and deconstructing hierarchies, emphasizing reciprocity, and conceptualizing leadership as collective rather than individualistic. Although there were differences in the experiences of women head teachers within and across the countries, there were more similarities. Most of these women said they experienced headship differently from male head teachers and had been treated differently in their careers. In the study conducted by Torrance and his colleagues, there were four themes that emerged about the women head teachers' experiences, namely, limited career aspirations in early career phase, which are linked to gender, experiences of discrimination in age, gender, and ethnicity, personal experiences and challenges, which is connected to work life balance, and experiences of wide challenges, which is highly cultural. These point to social and cultural traditions that describe gender roles and spill over to influence leadership behavior in organizations. There has been numerous efforts and initiatives aimed at assisting women into leadership, but still, gender still plays a significant impact on leadership opportunities for women. Left unchallenged, this could create significant limitations to encouraging young women into leadership opportunities. Internationally, women remain underrepresented in school leadership, and reasons vary from one country to another. But according to research, family and personal roles, social, cultural, orthodox stereotypes, as well as systemic and policy based actions all contribute. Dr. Shields agreed that one important facet of educational leaders leading in socially just ways is to ensure that they critically reflect and understand how their underlying beliefs, values, and attitudes may be counterproductive in their quest for education that is both just and excellent. Social justice as an educational practice is inclusive of all members of the world's population, regardless of government structures, cultures, or ideologies, and it accounts for innumerable contingencies of life influencing individual outcomes or predictable consequences of our actions. women in educational leadership is a social justice issue. If the underrepresentation of women in school leadership is to be addressed, then this reality needs to be faced, further explored, and acted upon both nationally and internationally. Thank you for listening.